Welcome to the Coach and Crew Show. I am your host, Charlie Krause. With us today is both Tantor and Luke. We're going to talk NFL football, the playoffs. Yeah, playoffs. But before we get going, and Mr. Bigglesworth is here representing Byron. And Phil made a off-colored joke off camera about their relationship or similarities. So, with that said, before we get going, do us a favor, please. Hit the button in the bottom right-hand corner, the little logo. Like and subscribe to our show, our podcast, our YouTube channel. And then visit us on the internet as well, coachandcrewshow.com, where you can find all of our information, not just for the NFL, but for all the sports to which we cover. All right, let's get right into things. Before we go forward, let's go backwards. Last week, what impressed you the most? Phil, you're the most analytical person here or the most sarcastic person here. Sometimes you wear both crowns. What did you like most what impressed you most last week from just any one team or overall?
There was nothing impressive the whole weekend. I mean, it was a complete disaster from the NFL standpoint. We've just proven that adding an extra playoff team for each conference is stupid. Pittsburgh doesn't deserve to be there. Philadelphia didn't deserve to be there. Bad football, even worse officiating. Wow. Let's blow a whistle again and again and again. Poor officiating, poor games, nothing but blowouts. Only watched 2 games all the way through. Watched the Raiders lose to Cincinnati, and I watched the 49ers. I won't say beat Dallas, but watch Dallas self-destruct there. And
Luke, same question. Let's see if you take a different response.
Not really happy, especially because the games that were good were not the primetime games. The very first game out of the entire weekend was the best game to the Bengals and the Raiders. That should have been the Sunday night primetime game or the Monday night primetime game.
How do you explain the officiating deciding that game?
Don't even get me started on that.
It's just an embarrassment for the NFL. It's just junk officiating.
It really is. Same thing with Dallas. And then Roger Goodell, in an interview on ESPN the very next day, defended the officials on that, saying they need to give the defenses time to line up. Yes, they need to give the defenses time to line up, but not nearly as much time as they gave them.
Yes. No, that's 100% on Dallas.
Exactly. That's 100% on Dallas. I mean, let's put it this way.
Yeah, talking about the player. It worked out. You just needed to slide a few seconds earlier.
It would have never worked out. You cannot do a quarterback sneak, a quarterback draw with 14 seconds left in the game and pick up 10 yards and expect your team to line up and spike the ball and kill the clock. You can't expect that. It doesn't work.
That's just it, Phil. He went for 15 or 16, and that 2 different seconds would have been the difference. Regardless, it doesn't matter what he did because Dallas still Dallas in the most Dallas of ways. Reality is they led they had double-digit of penalties. They gave up over 100+ rushing yards. They had how many self-destructions throughout? So
yes, Dallas they had 14 penalties, 9 penalties of which were pre-snap penalties. And on top of that, on the final spike of the game, even if they got it off, 2 offensive linemen had lined up wrong. So it would have been another pre-snap penalty.
So there you go. Dallas. So I actually was most impressed with Buffalo's offense as we get animation in the background. Buffalo's offense was going up against the number 2 overall defense in the NFL. And New England, yes, proved that they didn't want to be out there. But holy cow, Josh Allen scored a touchdown on every possession. So that for me was just wow. All right, let's get right into it for upcoming weekend. We've got 4 games on slate. Again, Luke, you're going to probably call out the NFL because I don't like the structure of the games itself. But what I do like is the matchups. So let's start with the best matchup of the weekend, in my opinion, and it's Kansas City and Buffalo. Luke, we'll let you go first. What do you see and what's your takeaway from that?
Whoever wins this game is going to the Super Bowl. Plain and simple. Buffalo, when they are on, they can easily be one of the best teams in the league. But the Chiefs have been to the Super Bowl 2 out of the past 3 years, the past 2 years in a row. And before that, they went to the AFC Championship game. Buffalo's preseason expectations, at worst, were going to the Super Bowl. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Both teams blew out their opponents. The Chiefs ran out of celebratory fireworks against the Steelers last week, and the Bills had the first ever perfect game. Every single possession they had were either touchdowns or a final kneel down to win the game. Take the over if you're going to bet this game. It's going to be super high scoring, and it's basically going to be whoever has the ball in the end of the play. Whoever has the ball, the very last drive of the game is going to win this game.
The most impressive part of that entire sentence and monologue was Luke used the word celebratory and used it correctly. Luckily, he didn't have to spell it. So, Phil, let's head down south to Atlanta. What are you feeling about the Kansas City Buffalo game?
Check the weather report. Bottom line, check the weather report. If there's a blizzard in Kansas City, who the heck knows what you're going to get? Could be one of those games where everybody has to hand off. If the weather's nice, it could be a track meet. If it's a track meet, I'll go with Kansas City. If it's going to be a snowplow game, we'll go with Buffalo.
So that's game one. And I'm in the same boat. I think this could go either way. And I really think it's going to come down to possibly the conditions and possibly matchups. Phil, you if you go back on pretty much every time we've talked about any game of any time, you always say matchups, 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 matchups. So let's stay in the AFC and talk Tennessee real quick against the Bengals. Now, I can't say Bengals anymore because they're putting up points like no tomorrow. The Bengals. What matchups do you like or dislike that the average person probably doesn't even know about?
Bottom line with this game is going to be 100% the Tennessee Titans imposing their will on Cincinnati's defense. And if they get Derrick Henry back, even more so. But Tennessee, they play real man football, and nobody in the NFL plays it like they do. And that's the matchup right there. Tennessee, it's a knife fight in a phone booth, and nobody else wants to get dirty and bloody like that. That's how Tennessee's just going to outman them. Going to go Cro-Mag.
Luke, you put more research into this stuff than everybody else, including the people not on screen. You love PFF. What have you learned about this weekend that's really sticking out and you liking?
This offense. Cincinnati's offense is going to line up very well against the poor Tennessee's defense or secondary on their defense. That's the end of the day. If Joe Burrow can light these guys up, they're going to win. Did you see his post-game press conference interview after he won the first Cincinnati's first playoff game in 30-plus years? He straight up said he pisses excellence, and they haven't done anything yet. He is going to light up these guys, and I honestly think Cincinnati is going to win from that. Tennessee's defense does not have one of the worst passing. It's not the worst passing defense, but it is one of the worst in the secondary. And that's where they're going to be exposed. They're going to stop the run. Joe Mixon's not going to do much, but Cincinnati's going to light it up and show Tennessee's their flaws on defense.
I think it's going to come down to coaching, and I like Vrabel. I know he comes from the Belichick pipeline and family tree, so most people don't like him for that reason alone. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to coaching. So advantage Tennessee. We'll see. I think that could be I won't say sleeper, but definitely the hidden gem game of the weekend, in my opinion. Let's switch over to the NFC. Green Bay is the one. They host the 6th seed because it's reseeded each bracket line with San Francisco, who tried their hardest to give Dallas the victory. That did not happen. Dallas in the most Dallas of ways. But Cincinnati San Francisco survive and advance. They move on now to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, where, if anything else, Jimmy G has proved to most Redskin fans that he's not their future, at minimum. Phil, what's your first initial thoughts and reactions to the Green Bay Frisco game?
Well, no team with Garoppolo as a quarterback can ever win a big game. Let's face it. Garoppolo, he gave the game to Dallas. And since Dallas has the worst coaching staff in the NFL, promptly decided to give it back to the 49ers. They didn't want it. That's not going to happen in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers simply doesn't lose. When's the last time he's lost at home? Don't know. Hasn't been in a couple of years. They just have too much for the 49ers, even though the 49ers are going to outcoach them. They have a better staff. Too many injuries on the 49ers. They'll give it a game, but they're going to lose.
Well, the thing I noticed about the 49ers that I afterwards, and while I put one and one together, but confirmed it afterwards, your best wide receiver caught 3 passes. That's it. It was only throwing the ball like 5 times. Yet he
It's
had
the quarterback giving him the ball.
Yet he had 10 handoffs. You see yes, Phil, thank you for finishing the sentence for me. Luke, same game, same conversation. How are you seeing this go out?
Overall, I think both teams are well stacked. Green Bay has an 89 overall on PFF. The 49ers have a 92 overall on PFF. That's 2 top 5 PFF rated teams, even though the seating's not fully there. I think this can quietly be a very good game. I want to pick the Niners. I'm not going to, but I do want to pick the Niners. I do want to see this upset, but I really do. At the end of the day, I think Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, the old Boston College running back, Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard, they're going to light it up and just show who's boss. And Aaron Rodgers' COVID toe is going to show him how it's done. And at the end of the day, Kyle Shanahan cannot outcoach this team. And it's going to be pretty good. But unfortunately, the 49ers are not going to get it done.
All right. Speaking of old man of the group, well, we got Tom Terrific left, TB12. And Tampa Bay as the 2 seed is hosting the 3, the LA Rams. This on paper could be another shootout or an offensive juggernaut. I personally think that Tom's going to control the game. He's going to see the field. He's going to know and pick apart that Rams defense. And I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think it's going to be a safe victory for Tampa Bay. Though, with that said, you bettors out there, I just gave you the ultimate safe bet. Take the Rams. Phil, without trying to break a smirk up my pick and my quick initial analysis, how are you seeing that final game we're discussing?
Tampa, there's a lot of injuries over there on defense and on the offensive line, and Aaron Donald is a monster. He might break Tom Brady in half. On the other side,
choking
the
a
Rams
guy out last week with "Stop Hate" on the back of his helmet.
But the Rams, their secondary is non-existent. So if Brady can avoid getting sacked in the first 3 seconds, he ought to pick apart the Rams defense. But I just think Tampa's beat up too bad to give it a run.
And they do have Tristan Wirtz out and their center, who they'll learn both about on Friday. I'm thinking at least one of the 2 might be out, but I don't think they'll lose both. But yeah, Phil, you might be right on that one. Luke, all right, close this one out. Rams, Buccaneers.
So here's an interesting stat for you. Tom Brady is older than the other 3 remaining head coaches in the NFC. Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay. Tom Brady has never lost to Sean McVay in a playoff game. What makes you think he's going to lose now? McVay has all the pressure on him to perform. They expect him to win a Super Bowl there. And if he goes to it, he's going to be hosting a Super Bowl. He's put all this work in, gaining Matt Stafford, getting Von Miller, getting Odell Beckham, who just got drug tested, having 9 touchdowns in 3 games, the past 3 games. Are they going to perform up to the level? Well, Matt Stafford just had his first ever playoff win. He's already played enough. Does he want to win a Super Bowl, or does Tom want 8 more than Matt wants 1? That's what's going to come down to. And at the end of the day, at this day and age, have we learned that we should not bet against Tom Brady? Have we not learned that there's a better chance that Tom Brady will make it to the Super Bowl than it is for you to graduate at Coastal Carolina University? Look at those odds. Off of that alone, I'm picking the Bucs.
I forgot about that stat. That's right. Thank you. Let's each choose one player who you think is going to have the biggest impact on their game that weekend. Luke, we'll let you go first. Who do you think it's going to be? Any one player for any of the 8 possible teams?
Joey Burrow. He's going to throw for 400 yards. I'm smacking that on FanDuel.
All right, Phil, same question.
Aaron Donald. He's going to kill Tom Brady. He's going to just absolutely dig a hole in Tampa.
All right, well, I have to take the NFL MVP, and y'all know how I feel towards him on a personal level. I don't see Aaron not throwing for 300 plus, 3 touchdowns, if not more. I think Aaron Rodgers puts Green Bay into the NFC Championship game almost single-handedly. So there's our wrap-up. Let's just real quickly go through our picks, and we'll put on screen everybody's picks along the way. Luke, give us your 4 winners of the weekend.
We're going to take the Bills after their dominant performance. The Bengals, I really want to manifest this one. The Buccaneers and the Packers.
I'm going Tampa Bay, Green Bay, so it'll be the Battle of the Bays. And then in the AFC side, I've got the 1 seed Titans and the 3 seed Buffalo Bills for that possible Super Bowl matchup. All right, Phil, how do you see the weekend?
I've got the Titans, which should be everyone's favorite team going forward because they are the underdogs everywhere. Always have been. Kansas City. I've got Green Bay because Garoppolo is never going to beat Rodgers, period, end of story. And then I just think that the injuries are going to be too much for Tampa to overcome, and the Rams are going to get them.
We'll make sure we post on our website as well, high rolling with Hudson's picks on the over and under and the spreads, because the boy went 4-2 on spreads alone this past weekend. So
that'll pay the bills.
He's doing more than most people can do. Again, the website is coachingcrewshow.com. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all the different social media devices, and with your subscription, Phil will actually smile for you. So we'll make it worth as
impossible.
Well. Hey, with that said, thanks for watching, and we'll be back again next time.